There is no more incredible man on this earth.
Welcome to Dance Mogul Magazine. Can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, I'm the original Wayne Blizz, Wayne Blizzard, New York B-boy, the original B-boy, executioner flow committee from 1976. You know, I'm still here doing my thing, you know, mentoring kids, traveling around, still doing street stuff, you know, keeping the art alive. You know, at the point when we first started about this dance thing, it wasn't all about money. I danced for plenty of years, no sneakers, going from project to project, battling other dance groups to keep the stuff alive, and we never knew it was gonna come to this, but I never really stopped doing it, because it was for love. It wasn't about money all the time, you know.
So what was it about dance that, you know, that attracted you? What was it about the dance?
Well, like I said, I'm from Virginia, and when I was younger, I used to always watch Soul Train and watch him doing the robot and, you know, doing the James Brown when I was younger. I used to go out, my friends, I used to sneak out doing my James Brown and stuff to the little church clubs and stuff. And my friends knew I could always dance and do splits. So they said, well, always ask my mother, yo, could Wayne please come go to us? She was like, nah, he's too young. They say, no, but he can dance. So I used to do my thing, and just that's how I got started.
Okay. So as time went on, and you coming up, you know, during those years, 70s, 80s, whatever, with the whole dancing thing, how did you, what were some of the things that you did to let you know that, well, okay, I'm here and I'm strong with what I'm doing, in terms of what, the battling or whatever?
Yeah, well, I come up in the days of Africa Bambaataa, Grandmaster Flash, Kool Herc, and them up in the Bronx. So when I came to New York, I can already do a little locking and stuff, but my friends was like, it was like, yo, we don't do that up here. So I said, no, I just like to do it, because I learned it from TV Soul Train and stuff. So I used to always just keep doing it whenever we have time together in the hallways, beating on the wall, we trying to rhyme. And I just used to always do it. And then one day they had a strike in like 1977 or something. And I used to walk from the Bronx. And I used to always, I could already do a little breaking, but I thought I was the man at that time, but I really wasn't, because there was people before me. And I walked to this path on this place called Mr. Soul's on 115. I heard him playing break music. So I asked the guy, I said, yo, could I go in? He said, well, it costs $1 to get in there. I said, man, I ain't got $1. So I turned away, I was getting ready to walk away. He said, yo, come on in, man. You can go in and take a look. He said, just go ahead on in there. So I went in there, and I saw these guys breaking all on the floor. So I was like, they was already advanced. It's my good buddy. His name is Grego.
Okay.
His name is the original B-boy Grego. He was a little before my time, a little. But, you know, after I started seeing them, I ran to the block, told my homeboys, yo, check this out. I seen these dudes doing this, and I'm doing that. They was like, yo. They didn't want to do it because it seemed like it was messing your clothes up, you're getting dirty a lot. But I used to always say, nope, I like it. And I just kept doing it, and I drive into my homeboy's head. Come on, man, let's do it. Let me teach you, let me show you, the executioners. After a while, we started getting into it. Once I took them to the club and they seen it, that was it, from the 70s.
So coming up during the 80s, and you mentioned Africa Bambaataa, when the music started to hit, did you ever think that things would have got to where they are today in terms of the b-boy and being a street dance, something you do on the street corner, then finally the Beat Street came out, breaking and so forth. What was you thinking when you saw all of that happening?
Well, as I was breaking, I used this place called Roxy's. That's where all the real breakers and stuff hung out at. And we never got to go to Roxy's because we was busy, you know, in the neighborhoods, battling street cats, doing that. So we heard about it one day. We needed some money, so I said, well, let's try to make some money, man, with it. You know, we've been doing all these years and we never made money, so we went down to, I used to live on 106th Street, 105th, went down to 96th Street with a little cup, trying to stop people to say I could do stuff that you never seen before. They was like, yeah, I could spin on my head about 5 or 6 times on the concrete. They was like, yeah. I said, yeah, you put $1 in the cup. They say, I'll put $5 in the cup if you could do it. So I did it. So I put $5 in the cup. We could see people walking, we could stop them and say, yo, sir, you want to see something? Some would stop, some would like. And we'd catch cars at the stoplight and just do our thing right on the corner. And we made some money from then. There was a way that we could get sneakers and stuff because our parents kept saying, yo, you're burning up your sneakers, you did, you dirty. And that was the way we really got started with that. But I never thought about how it's going to progress. I just kept doing it. And then when Beach Street and all that came out, we went to a few of the auditions for Wild Style, but we were so raw, and the people really know who they wanted, so they wasn't going to pick anybody but who they wanted anyway. The 2 top groups. And this guy named Charles Settler, it was at the Tin Pan Apple. He was running all that with the Fat Boys and Crush Groove and all that. He was running that. He had a company called Tin Pan Apple. So we went there a few times. And you know, back in the days when you're young, you're not on a time schedule, so you would come late. Like some of the other guys, the original Flow Committee, John Rich, Douglas, Darryl Neely, the original Flow Committee executioners. You know, but one guy would come late again, and then Charles Settler said, yo, I was gonna have y'all in Crush Groove, I'll have y'all in Beach Street, and this. He said, but man, y'all can't be on time, so we're gonna use the next big group. We said, who that? They said, Rocksteady. We was like, what? He said, if we go get them now, we'll battle them now. He was like, nah, y'all just can't be on time. So that's why we didn't get a lot
So
of.
you missed that opportunity because you were young and you just didn't really understand that part of it too much at that point in time. Okay, so that brings me to my next question, because that same time period, you know, is that we're here at Silverback event, you know, and Steve is very instrumental in making sure that this happened. And so I want to know from you, how did you meet Steve, and how did, you know, that relationship grow and develop?
Yeah, well, I met Steve in like end of '79, like 1980, and you know, we was dancing on the street, so this guy would come up and always wanted to, like, you know, stand in our crowd, so we check him out. You know, back in the days, you see somebody like that, you think, you don't know if you're a cop or this or that or that. So we say, yo, what's up? He said, yo, I do a little dance. We said, yeah. We said, well, come on, let's try to do something, you know. And he would come and stand in the crowd with a business suit and a briefcase. We told him, come do your thing. And after that, he really enjoyed it. And we used to ask him, could he come and help us out? We would make money. Because he was up there, you know, smooth looking, nice, handsome, young, you know, white guy. And he would come with his suit and his briefcase. And the people look at him like, point to him, push him, and like, yo. He's like, me? He's like, yeah. So he get out, start doing his thing.
Cardboard down?
Cardboard down. And a lot of times we didn't even use cardboard. We had the smooth, this place where we used to hit was on 58th Street. It was kind of smooth. Sometimes we would take the cardboard down. And I met him, and he used to come a lot. Then after a while, I haven't seen him for a long time. I never know what happened to him. And then years later, I met the guy Nemesis. He said, yo, man, Steve, you know this guy named Steve? He be doing the B-boy events? I was like, nah. He said, yo, he knows you. He speak about you all a lot. I said, I don't know Steve. He said, yeah. And I kept saying, Steve. One day he said, man, why don't you hook me up so I can meet him then? Then, after years and years of never seeing him, and then when I seen him, I said, oh, that's Vanilla Shake. That's the original Vanilla Shake before Vanilla Ice. We used to call called me and said, Wayne, y'all going out today? He said, yeah. I said, meet me on 58th Street. And I never was like a hater. I always like to integrate different people to make it like, not just
Multicultural.
multicultural, yeah. Even to this day, I still do the same thing. Dominican, Puerto Rican, white, black, Japanese, Korean, whoever. I said, they like to come sometime and summer, do different things, but that's how I got to meet Steve. He was an awesome guy. He looked out for us. Actually, he helped us make money because they see this guy like all these black kids around and what he doing with them? And so that's how I got to meet Steve.
Okay, thank you for that. And another thing I noticed that you mentioned earlier that in talking to you, you talked about mentoring the kids and giving back. I think that's important. A lot of the other people that I interviewed said the same thing that you said. It's something about people that when they get connected with the art, it just makes you want to give back because you have a certain sense of appreciation for what it did for you.
Yeah.
And so you seem like, that's what you're doing when you said when you talk to young people, you try to help them understand what hip hop is all about and what it represents and positivity and things like. Tell me about that.
Well, I used to always thought about how it was for us making money and I see kids and I'm like, they more poor than us, so I try to get them, teach them. We had like a little clubhouse. We used to take them down and we'd practice, teach them, and a lot of the kids, their parents and stuff was on drugs. And I used to always go there and preach to the mother and the parents and said, kids gonna get in trouble or they gonna take you. And so I would take all the kids to my house. And now through the summer, I would work with them, make sure they have Christmas and, everything for the kids.
You did the best that you could do with what you had to try to make sure that, they could feel a sense of dignity about themselves.
And a lot of people see me today and say, Wayne, man, thank you I'm in college now, you mentored me and you always on them, go to school, know this and that. I came and got them. If they wasn't good in school, I would mess with them. And they never, smoked weed and all that type of stuff. I never did none of that stuff around kids or advised them to do it. So
you kind of feel like the arts helped to make you be the person that you are today, sort of like kept you, on a certain path.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that they're street dancer. You did this, because in '80s, like a little bit in the '80s, 1, 2, and 3 and stuff, people stopped breaking. Even members of Rock Steady was like, yeah, don't do that no more and stuff, because breaking, it was dying, it was dead. But I stayed in the street, kept doing the art. People would come down there and see me in wintertime dancing. Yo, man, you still doing this? I'm like, yeah, it's just that I love to do it.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what people do, once they realize what their purpose is, they want to find ways of how they can get back to the art. And speaking about that, to conclude, what I want to know now, since you're at a point where you're doing the mentoring through the arts, is there any kind of way that people can get in touch with you, to maybe work with you so that hire you to, make you a part of, whether it's a workshop or any kind of program that they can hire you to be a part of?
Yeah, they can reach me at Blizz 6363 6363 gmail.com, or my number is 646-281-9822, Wayne Blizz. Same thing as Facebook, Wayne Blizz, whatever.
That's cool. And one final question, is there any words of encouragement that you want to offer to the youth as far as, how you made that initial connection and, you didn't let anybody distract you from, what you wanted to do? I noticed you mentioned that they wasn't with getting dirty, but you didn't mind getting dirty because it was something that you really wanted to do for yourself. So you got any words of encouragement that you want to offer to the next generation?
Yeah, well, I like to say, it's not all about dance sometimes. It's all about other things. Like, you're doing your education. This is a thing to try to keep you focused, to go to school, to do other things. It's not all about just dance, smoking cigarettes, not going to school, bad manners. It's all the way about good manners and good karma. And, I wouldn't advise like other kids that went through what we went through, all scuffling in the street, doing it all the time. But this is a step for you where you can go ahead and go to school and do this whenever you feel like it. And if you want to take it further, you do. It's a stepping stone where you might want to go acting or, you know, do other things with it. But I wouldn't advise just straight street dancing and stuff like that, because a lot of guys nowadays, they can do all that stuff now, but when they get 50,
Your body, you can't balance.
like me, I stay in shape, I don't smoke or drink, so, you know, and I'm not, yeah, it's easy, and I'm not just doing it just for money. Even if it wasn't about money, I'm still gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
I enjoy it, have fun doing it. I would end up probably working somewhere, getting a little job, and I don't mind doing it, 'cause I had a great time.
Yep.
And people should always, you know, come to real B-boys and real hip-hop talent. They're guys who really innovated and started it, and come look you up to do. That's real.
Source.
It's real source. You go get other people that's not in the real source, that been here doing 10 years, 12 years, and think they know all about hip-hop, and you got, not talking about hating or doing nobody like other cultures and all that. Yeah, I know hip-hop. Yeah, hip-hop. You don't know the grind and how all this stuff came in like 73, 74, 75. I used to come to New York like in the summer times, and my grandmother lived there, so I lived in Virginia and DC, and we used to come up in the summers, and you know, we used to talk about jams in the park. You couldn't even go in the park, you'd be scared. So when I came up permanently, and I already could, I didn't know about breaking. I just seen guys dancing, so I wanted to do it. And it all revolved around that.
Okay, so it all came back. Now, one final question. Is there anybody that you want to thank that maybe helped you at some point in your life, or anybody that you want to shout out, you know, since we're at the end of the interview?
Okay, yeah, I'd like to say shout out to Steve Silverback, Vanilla Shake. He's a great guy, and he helped us make money, and it wasn't all about money for him, because he was trying to help us then. And you know, he probably was, you know, had doing his job or whatever he was doing, but he always made time. And he always kept in touch. And then after, you know, a while, we started traveling to living in Japan for 10 years, Taiwan, Hong Kong. So that's why I never got to see him for years.
Okay, well, I certainly appreciate, you know, your sacrifices that you made in those early years in terms of your grind. And I appreciate, you know, you giving back to the culture, because you're a good example of what more people need to do, and we need more good examples in our culture today. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
Yeah,